What do you think? Should we tell them what we're doing? Should we show them what we're up to? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking. Nice to see you. How have you been? It has been a little while. I know I've thrown out a couple review videos of some products that have worked extremely well in this project and made it over a season, so I apologize if those were boring to anyone who's regularly watching, but I believe in those products and they work very well. So yeah, we're just out in the van today. Got a lot to do. I'm getting really pumped up to get some more work done. Need to get these cabinets finished up in here. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of working on the design, cardboard and compass, and with all the curves and different shapes in here, it takes a little bit of time to design out your pieces before you put them together. And so in kind of designing them, you get a clear idea of what it is that you're looking for. And so just by using cardboard, I'm going to kind of assemble that. And yeah, something super cool coming in the future here. Supposedly by the end of next week, I'll be getting something super cool. Can you guess what it is? I'm not going to tell you yet, but I am so excited. I've been wanting one in here for a very long time, and it really completes the last big thing I need for in here. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, so it's kind of nice working on projects like this. You know, just me and the dog in here tonight, just watching some Street Outlaws and working on this project. So it makes for a good time. It gives you time to think and kind of center, and it's very important to have projects like this. This place is trash. I don't want to show you around too much. But yeah, I got cardboard pieces everywhere and just things everywhere. Things moved, stoves out of place, TV's in a different place, which is all right because it's all about the change in here. Yeah, so my plan is get this cabinet traced out, get it to be what it's going to be in shape, so that way when it comes time to go construct it, make it just as easy as tracing and cutting, and then right into place. Also, along with this cabinet, I want to do a little bit of electrical. So we got a little surprise this evening as I was out here working. Got a little thunderstorm, and this thing is huge. It looks huge, and so it's kind of nice. It's working out here, got the sound of the rain, and me and the dog just working on a project. So this is my counter, and my objective is to have a cabinet over here on this side, going all the way to the end, coming to about where that metal, up to the edge of where that metal is coming down, kind of covering that seam on that wall. And then I would like to have another little piece of a cabinet deal, or a little shelf unit that kind of goes on this back edge of this cabinet, and that should like double my current food storage and supply storage. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's what we're working on today. Yeah, so this is what we got going on. So some of the tools that I've been using is a compass and a tape measure. And so what we're doing is we're taking this wall, it's got this contour in here, and so you need to make a pattern that can go up and make these angles and curves, so that way you can trace that onto your wood and then make your cabinet. Okay, so there it is. There's pretty much my finished project, my template piece, as it contours that curve and then goes up to the ceiling. Instead of making that all fancy, I just kind of cut that as a straight line there. A lot of this won't be seen, and sometimes when doing this, you don't have to get super picky about everything that you do. A lot of it will get hidden as you build this out. And so, yeah, so this piece here, so awesome having that done, because that piece I'll be able to use as a template for over here on this side of my counter, where I'm going to do a little shelf over here as well. And so that template will work well, with the exception of maybe some sizing, cutting down, and then same for the other side over there. Okay, hopefully you can see this good enough. So what I'm doing now, before I get these cabinets built and installed, and they will go all the way up to my ceiling, so it's going to be hard pressed to do any sliding of wires. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting ready to run my wiring to the other side of that wall over there, and my fuse box is down here in the corner underneath my bed. Can't quite see it. So what I've got is a clothes hanger. This is what I'm using to run underneath my panels. I've loosened a few of my bolts that hold my ceiling up, and so I'm going to slide this hanger behind my panel, and I'll just grab my wire like this, and I will pull it through. and work my way to getting it over there. So I'm going to bring it over to my roof vent first, so then I can grab the wires from there and then execute them across the rest of the way. So this is what we're up to. So I've got my line right here, and it is attached to this clothesline, to this clothes hanger, and I'm gonna just pull that through. So, well, hopefully we should be back on the other side in a minute. And just like that, I've got one of my wires run all the way over from over there. As you can see, some of my wires over to this thing, so I have to tuck them back in there. But I've left my lights and everything on to make sure that I didn't interfere or pull anything apart with the other wiring. But yeah, just like that. There's one wire down, just got to run the other one. Leave enough space over here. What I'm going to put right here is a little light, so I don't have to use all my big lights anymore, and possibly maybe even a junction box or something, so that way I can have some more USB ports or something. Anyway, on to the next wire. So here we got it now. Here's my two wires coming over here, ready for install. That's a little long, but I can pull that back through. So what I'm doing now is I'm just reinstalling this extra outer piece to my vent fan. I had to take that off. It's kind of a finishes off the deal. And they're just big long screws. So I'm just screwing this back in. Got my bolts tightened back up on the ceiling. We are in business. Before you know it, there's going to be a light right there. It's going to be bright. Not as bright as 4 lights at one time. This is so exciting. So, sorry I didn't show any footage of it. We got the side pieces cut out for this cabinet here. And figure that's probably about the depth that's going to be. And that gives quite a lot of space in there. So now I just got to figure out how tall I want my spaces to be for my shelves. Same for that little guy over there. And so it's got to cut those out, sand them up, stain them, cut a door for the front of this, paint it. Bam, 2 cabinets done. As you can see, the stove looks good right there in the middle. Left plenty of space for what I'm thinking for space for these 2 cabinets yet. And that propane cable that'll run down into the counter. So my goodness, we are on our way. So exciting. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of mocking out my shelf for kind of maybe how I would have it arranged, this little cabinet. So just kind of taking things I have around and some of the common items and just kind of stacking it in there to see where I want my shelf heights. Pretty easy. Yeah, I decided I would go through in a little detail everything that we've done on this project thus far. I'm at a pretty good point now to continue on another project. Of course, there's always more to do, details and whatnots, but let me show you what we got going on. Let's go through this. So, as you can see, that was really bright. Here's that little light, but it's dark now. It's that little light that we installed. Let me show you what it looks like with my other lights. So typically I was just running these big guys, these big lights here, and they're great. But it's kind of nice to be able to have a little light, so that way you don't have to light everything up. And so that's what this little guy is coming handy for. So for that, as you've seen, I just run those wires up through my ceiling up here and then over to my fuse box. Everything in this van runs to a fuse, except for what comes out of the inverter. But everything that's running DC has its own fuse, so there's no confusion. Should there be an issue with wiring or whatever, it's got a fuse. It's, safety is very important. So yeah, so wired in this little light here. And of course, we've got this beautiful little cabinet here. This thing is so handy for all the stuff that you just have sitting around and out and about everywhere. Now it's kind of got a place to go. Maybe these neat little deals, so that way things don't want to fall out when you're in transit. But haven't taken it out on the road with this yet, and with things in it. Don't really have anything filling stuff up yet. So moving along, here we've got the stove. Hopefully I can angle this in here right. So what I've done is I've taken and cut a hole in this counter and run my propane line down through it. And then I've taken my propane line and it runs along this edge of my bed here. Things are still a mess. This runs through here and then it runs over to my other cabinet, and then over to my big thing of propane. So, you with me so far? We've rerouted the propane line, ran it down through the counter, so now it's kind of out of the way. And so there's that for the stove. Over here to my other cabinet. This thing is nice. It's not huge, but it really increases the amount of space I can have for food. Don't have any food or anything in here yet. As you can see, that's quite a bit of space in there. And it goes deep too. I mean, all the way in there. It's about 23 inches deep. So and I've just got that held in with some L brackets and sheet metal screws. So technically it shouldn't go anywhere. And yeah, that turned out really well. And I've got some wiring running here as well. I've taken and wired in an AC plug here. What I did is just took like a 25-foot 12-gauge extension cord that I picked up at my local hardware store, Menards, which is typically where I get most everything. And so I just cut the end off, put it into an outlet, excuse the whoop there, and just yeah, put an outlet up here. So that worked out pretty good. The reason why I went with an extension cord to do that mostly is because it you know, it already has its own casing. It's protected. And so yeah, it just runs from my inverter down here. I've got that weaved around underneath the bed so that way dog and myself can't pull that out or have any issues. And then I've got that running in behind this counter and then up through the counter and then up here to this deal. So it's kind of out of the way. Yeah, this has turned out pretty nice. I think those, I think the colors for this whole deal worked out pretty good. Thanks for following along, by the way. Really appreciate you guys for clicking on this. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe if you happen to like these videos. So much more coming. We're going to get into kind of some of the more details of reasons why you would want a van like this and things that you should probably have in there, especially with these ever-changing times. And well, we're ultra daily living for a reason. And so for the other side of this cabinet, it's a little trick, kind of stole it from my dad. So I just got a power strip plugged into this outlet, going over the top of my cabinet, coming over here, where I have my Insignia TV, and I'll do a review on this, and we'll cover this in a little more detail. As of right now, just kind of getting the time in with it, with heat and everything else. So I picked up one of these arm guys, picked them up from Menards, and just attach that to the cabinet, tilt it, bring it up. So that's kind of a nice little addition, a very kind of frivolous, not necessary expenditure, but you know, just modern conveniences. And so got the Roku stick on there too. TV wasn't a smart TV, but for 89 bucks, 22 inch, ultra thin, high definition, it's a good deal, I thought. Anyway, so that's where we're at on this project as of current. You know, I still got a little more work to do when it comes to cosmetic, but you know, the biggest thing right now is just getting this build done out. So that's where we're at. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for following me along. This has been several days in the making, and I am so happy to be able to get a video out to you guys. I have a ton of reviews coming, very important reviews. I feel they're very important, and we're going to get into a lot more very important things that you need to know, and maybe you can help other people with as well. And we'll get into that more later. We're going to add things to this van that is going to make a whole lot more possible for you to be self-sufficient. Man, I got some really neat stuff coming that I'll be doing some reviews on. I am so excited to get those out to you as soon as they come in the mail. I've got a few things already. So much more coming. I know things have been a little slow lately, as you can see, kind of been busy. But I got some body work to do. I've already started on that, so I kind of got to kick that video out. I got to finish that as well, or as far as I'm going to go with it. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe, hit that like button. That like button is very important, helps the algorithm, helps my channel get out there. And we'll see you guys again on the next one. Have an awesome day. Thank you.